Okay, we're live.
Good morning. Welcome to the October 15th meeting of the Downtown Development Authority Executive and Finance Committee. Chad, could you take the roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Peter Dewan.
Present.
Jim Kroom.
Present.
Michael Kruger.
Here.
And George Lahanas.
Okay.
That completes the roll call.
Thank you. We have the agenda as presented by staff. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
Seeing none, I'll offer a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Ask for a second.
Second.
Been seconded by Jim Kroom. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any opposed? The agenda has been adopted. We had a discussion about extending the public comment from what is our practice now of 2 minutes to a 5-minute time limit. We are going to, at the next DDA meeting, just make that applicable for all DDA meetings to be consistent with the wishes of the City Council. But for purposes of today's meeting, I'm going to make a motion to extend to a 5-minute time limit the opportunity for the public to comment pursuant to MCL 15.263 that we had addressed at our previous DDA meetings, and asked for a second on that.
Second.
Seconded by Jim Kroom. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion's adopted. With that said, are there any communications from the audience?
Yes, Chair, there's currently one attendee in the caller queue at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Our first caller is caller with the last 3 digits of 963. Caller 963, you're going to be unmuted and given 5 minutes to speak. And if you do not wish to speak, please just say pass. Caller 963, you have been unmuted.
Hi, Alice Drager, as usual. Just 3 quick items. First, thanks for making the 5-minute time period permanent. Second, a request really for the people of East Lansing, and it's really directed at the mayor, who I guess is not here, but for you guys too, that all materials that have been provided to a full board, commission, or council in advance of a meeting be added to the agenda in advance of the meeting. We're finding a lot of instances where boards, commissions, and council have material they're discussing at meetings that have not been provided to the public. And it would be really helpful if we could follow along when you're looking at things we can't see. So just a request I'm going to make of every board and commission and the City Council to add all materials that have been provided to a full board, commissioner, council be provided on the agenda before the meeting starts. And then lastly and relatedly, I'm curious why the River Caddis issue is not on the draft agenda for 10/22 for the full DDA. It seems very likely, especially based on Mr. Fehrenbach's presentation to council this week, that that's coming up. So I'm confused why that's not on the agenda. And more importantly on that issue, I am hoping we can have the materials that are going to be voted on reasonably in advance of the meeting so the public has a chance to process them before you make a decision. The DDA members kindly often accept questions submitted by the public and ask those questions, but we can't formulate those questions if we can't see the materials in advance. The DDA has, and staff, frankly, have repeatedly been in a position of being given materials very late by the developers, providing them very little time for analysis so that a vote just keeps happening at the last minute because of the feeling that something has to happen or something will expire. I think out of respect to staff, the DDA, and the public, it's important to provide materials reasonably in advance. And I know you guys feel like I'm the only person often asking questions and commenting, but the reason for that is that a huge number of people don't want you to know what they're asking. They have professional positions and professional relationships they have to protect in and around the city of East Lansing. So they feed me the information and they feed me the questions and I feed them to you. And I'm happy to play that role. But to give them time, and many of them really are experts in this field, you've probably figured out that it's taken me a long time to come up to speed on development and bonds and that sort of thing. That's because these people have been helping me. For them to have time to meaningfully have another set of eyes on these things, which really helps the people, the city of East Lansing, you have to release them in advance. And I don't think it's reasonable for developers to be submitting what amounts to $25 or $100 million contracts the day before. They surely can get it done before that, and we can demand that it be done before that, or let the contract expire and come back to it when you've had time to adequately understand what's in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Are there any additional callers, Chad?
No, Chair, that's it.
Okay, we'll close the public comment portion of the meeting. Are there any written communications? I don't believe so. We'll move on to item 4 on our agenda, the September 2020 financial report.
All right, I'll take that. Thank you, Chair. So for the month of September, there wasn't a lot of activity this month. So we're waiting for the first page. There we go. So there's not a lot of activity here, certainly on the first page for sure. And then if you can go to page 2, Adam, we had some outdoor dining miscellaneous charges. There were some internal corrections that were done, as you can see, for the negative $28 at the very top for wages and Social Security, and then workers' comp. So that, in addition to some parking validations for the outdoor dining, that brought our project development expenses for $320.14 for the month of September. The only other thing noteworthy, there's $320 for some evergreen junk removal. That was on our next page here. And then if you could scroll down a little bit more. So for the treasurer's report for September, the only monthly activity that we have as far as charges is in the outdoor dining. And you can see there's the negative balance of $1,888.84. Last month, when we went over the report, that number was at just over $1,500. And so we still plan on doing a journal entry to correct that this month. And by the time that the November financial report comes around, there should be a zero encumbrance for the outdoor dining. So last month also at the September meeting, the DDA approved $864 to pay for half of the tree planting. And that number, the $864, came out of our projects to be determined fund at the top there, which brought that number down to $78,759. Also at the DDA meeting in September, we approved the $5,600 for the new signage and the We Have You Covered program. So you can see that that's been allocated. And Adam, if you could scroll down to the last page, the speed bumps project has been wrapped up at this time. So the remaining $833 that was encumbered there, we just put back in the Artist Alley's maintenance reserve. And so that's the only change there. If you have any questions.
Are there any questions on the financial report?
No, I don't have any.
Thanks, Jim. Hearing none, let's move on to our agenda for our October 22nd DDA meeting. And
this is Adam Cummins. The draft agenda has been posted for next week's meeting, and the lack of the River Caddis MOU on that agenda was an oversight on my part, and it was just a mistake, and we're going to add it probably today to the agenda at the latest tomorrow.
so, Adam, what are you thinking? Where will that occur on our agenda?
I imagine under business agenda.
6.3?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if you recall, on Tuesday, there was support from council on extending that MOU another 90 days.
Okay. Well, we'll have a discussion with the full board on the request. Do we have a formal written request from the developer for an extension?
I'll have to look into that and get back to you, Chair.
Okay. So with that added, there's only the 3 items then on our business agenda. Ordinance 1492 and the discussion on the business support services.
Right.
With regard to item 6.2, is that looking at potential support options to businesses as we move into the fall and winter months?
Correct, yeah. So we're wrapping up some of the details and budget items, and we plan on making a funding request for our next round of business support in downtown Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those will come in the form of memos to board members. Will be part of our packet
Yeah, it'll be part of the packet. It'll be completed by Friday.
this Friday.
Yes, sir.
And then that will be available to the public when?
On Friday.
On Friday.
Right, when we post the packet Friday. Yep. So Friday will be available to the public. We've been under some time constraints with this. Things are moving fast. And so we're trying to wrap everything up as quickly as possible to get that posted.
Right. Okay.
Could I make a couple comments?
Yeah, please do, Jim.
So first suggestion would be in the financial report section for the whole board, nothing to add to the agenda or anything like that, but I would just suggest that at each meeting as part of the financial report, that there be a discussion of where we stand on the bond, how many, just the salient points, number of months left, is it, where are we, interest only, principal and interest payments, outstanding balance, how does the funding look to support the bond payments and so on, because that will dovetail into, development discussions and so on. So if that could I just wanted staff to be prepared in advance to do that rather than just ask them if that could be just a regular part of the treasurer's report when they present it. And then a suggestion on when ordinance are presented, if in the written agenda, it could have 2 words or 3 words that identify what that ordinance is. Sometimes we'll have 2 or 3 ordinances on the agenda, and it would just be nice rather than just to use the number. If they go month to month, we eventually become familiar with what the subject matter is, but that would be helpful.
Excellent points, Jim. Thank you. Any additional comments about the agenda? All right, very good. Let's move on to item 6 on our agenda, 500 block refuse room pressure clean quote.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So it's in our contract with Waste Management to have all of our refuse rooms cleaned on a monthly basis. When it gets to this time of the year, the parking garages have to shut the water down in the facilities so they don't freeze in the evenings at night and stuff. So what we did was we got a quote initially to clean just the 500 block refuse room, because that is where we don't have water at all. Now that the water is completely shut off, which happened just this week, I'm going to have to get a bid for all 5 refuse rooms to be pressure cleaned by this company. So if it's okay, I'd like to just ask that the board doesn't take any action on this particular bid today, as I have to go back and maybe bring to the board next week a bid to clean all 5 rooms.
And the bid that you're referencing is which one?
It is the Pure Pressure Plus service bid.
Who is the provider? Oh, I see. I'm sorry. We have another one in front of us from,
Banish Welding, yeah, we'll go over
Banish,
that as well.
okay. So are you anticipating that it's going to be 3 times this amount? Given the rooms that you say need to be cleaned?
Yeah, it may be a little bit over that amount. Like I say, we're going from 1 refuse room to now 5. So I would anticipate a little higher than just times 3. But I should have that bid by the end of the day, and we'll get that on the DDA agenda for next week.
When they treat those, do they just spray the exterior and the ground and the walls, or do they actually treat the bin? I mean, how do we, the goal is for sanitation and smell, I suppose, both. Do they also clean the bin?
Yeah, we don't clean the bins. No, Jim. They roll the bins out. They do a good sweeping, and then they power wash about 4 or 5 feet up on the walls and any kind of splatter, and certainly the floors. They power wash real good. So
Gotcha.
it's basically just to get any kind of spillage or anything like that, but not any of the containers.
Okay.
Now, is this
Okay.
just for this month, or is this each month going forward
So
throughout until
this will
the
be
until the
when
water's
I-
turned back on?
Yep, it'll be once we get into November, December, it's just too cold to do it. So my expectation is that once we get a final price to clean all of them, that'll probably be the final time until it's springtime and we can do it again.
Well, do we want to make a motion to approve up to 5 times that amount so that city staff can just get it done and, hopefully negotiate a little bit better deal, but at least give them the leeway to spend up to, what would it be, $900 or $800? Nah, $800, $750.
What's our limit at executive committee?
I was told it was 1,000.
Yeah, we might, this doesn't seem controversial. We should take it out of the hands of the whole board so we have more time on other things. Seems minor.
Yeah,
All right, well, I'll make that motion then, to spend up to 5 times the 150, which I believe amounts to $750 to get those things clean.
and that will be covering, did you say 5 months?
It would
No,
cover
the 5 different
Five,
areas.
5. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll second your motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Right?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so Michael's motion passes. Um,
And they could report on that at the treasurer's report too. Then the committee will know, the whole DDA will know.
Thank you. Let's move on to item 7, the fireplace door repair.
Sure, if I could take that as well. So this is a project we've been working on for a minute with good intentions to try to get this resolved. I believe the fireplace door had been broken into some time back, and then it was repaired so that it was somewhat operable, but it's still not very secure, and it's quite difficult to try to manage to open up the door, especially when there is snow and ice on the ground. So our solution was to try to take this beautiful 4 foot by 4 foot stainless steel door, reuse the material, but just have some custom hinges made, and even reuse one of the locking mechanisms on there. So I had Banish Welding give us a quote for this while they were out taking a look at another job for us. So they came back with $575 charge, which I think is pretty reasonable considering the custom work they have to do, and some of it is on site. So that's always difficult. And that's what we're presenting with you with today.
So have they worked on this fireplace previously, or have there been other contractors that have worked on it, or is this a new repair?
I am not certain who did the original repair once the door had gotten broken into in the past. Banish Welding, to my knowledge, has not worked on the fireplace just yet.
I can answer that, Peter. So originally when the fireplace was constructed, that was part of the Ann Street Plaza project in front of Fieldhouse in there. What happened a couple of years after it was installed, there is that steel panel, and behind that's the control system for the fireplace itself. And one weekend it was vandalized, and so the fire department came down, and then they worked with our building maintenance staff to secure it. And so there is a plate. Our building maintenance staff did make some adjustments to it and put a steel plate at the top with almost like a lock. That you have a special tool to use to unlock it. But the door itself, it's what happened is from when it was damaged, the door itself doesn't sit properly. And so there's also some leakage that can cause. So by going to this, using the same stainless steel frame and adding the hinges and swinging that out, and they'll be able to do some fabrication. We can take care of two things. One is that the door will be easily accessible, and the other is that it will help secure and keep that. It's like a computer that's behind there that runs that fireplace. They'll keep that safe. So as far as Banish, they have not worked on this fireplace before, unless they did any of the fabrication for the contractor who did the initial work. So, and that would have been when it was originally constructed. So
the question, Heather, is there the presumption that once they make this repair that it's not going to be an ongoing expenditure or something that needs to be fixed?
Yep. Okay. Yep, correct. Yep, that will be taken care of. That'll take care of the issue. So, and that's something I've been wanting to do for the past couple of years. And it just, over time, it's getting more difficult. Some rust is forming on some of the pieces of the pins that hold the door in place and those types of things. So it's just a good time to change how we are able to access that and still use the existing steel that is already, part of the large cover. So I don't know if there's a picture of it. Do you have a picture of that, Chad? Okay. But yeah, it's on the east side of the fireplace. There's a large piece of steel that covers it. So.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure to repair the fireplace.
I'll second.
Been supported by Michael. All those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Thanks for looking into that, Chad and Heather, and taking care of getting it fixed. Let's move on to business support services. Adam?
Yes, Chair, thank you. Mike, I feel like this is the 12th time in this week that I've been on a call with you talking about business support. So
12-ish, yeah.
12-ish, maybe an exaggeration there. So as you may or may not be aware, staff has been working really hard to plan the next round of downtown business support. We've done direct financial assistance, we've done curbside pickup, which we continue to enhance, the outdoor dining on Albert, and a lot of these things we're trying are new and we're learning as we go. And we're doing research, we're connecting with other communities, we're reading the latest best practices. And so this next round of business support, we've really been focusing on reactivating our downtown, getting people downtown in a way that's not going to draw a large crowd all at once, but the steady traffic flow, foot traffic, sustainable revenue over time in the safest way possible. And so what we're doing, we're looking to reactivate, activate, and enhance our public spaces. We've identified approximately 6 or 7 locations downtown to target. One of them being the 500 block alley, the pedestrian alley. We're not going to shut down the entire alley, but that's pedestrian alley outside Campbell's Market. We just want to enhance the seating, the experience, the human experience there with lighting, seating, maybe some art installations. and then move on down to the Division Street garage where the overhangs come on Albert Avenue. We want to install more seating, get rid of any metal seating, think materials like wood and plastic, things that will not only feel warmer, but may be a little warmer during the winter. Put some outdoor heaters, again, lighting, a few art installations, and hopefully a business shed or two for a pop-up shop to operate in that location. Move on to the Marriott. Outside the Marriott southeast corner, it's elevated. It's like a prime public space. And so we really want to activate that space, utilize our existing assets, and install seating and light installations and maybe some heaters and art installation there as well. Then another spot is in the lowest level of the parking garage under the Marriott. It's taken a lot of coordination with a lot of different entities and internal departments and external stakeholders to check on the feasibility of this and the interest level. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. And the idea is to have a winter market in that parking garage with seating, art installations, lighting. The farmers market would move in and it'd be like a pop-up farmers market 2 or 3 times for the remainder of the year. Everything's inside, outside, everything's being designed for distancing. And we want to manage the flow of traffic in and out of the garage, clear exit and entryway, count the number of individuals visiting, just to maintain safety. We're looking at city programming. We've connected with, like the public library for children's storytelling time. We would have a section off in the garage designed for like an entertainment area, but again, designed for distancing, limited capacity. We're making a lot of headway there. We're meeting with fire over at the garage today, just to check on any of the safety issues related to fire. Let's see, Ann Street Plaza. We want to put the mobile library outside the Ann Street Plaza and enhance the seating there. Same with Bill Sharp Park and Valley Court. We want to enhance seating, install seating, art and light, stuff that's going to create an environment where people want to spend time. It's going to draw them, get out of their house, think about the mental health and physical health benefits of that. But overall, we want to increase that foot traffic downtown to hopefully increase revenues for our business owners. We want to provide them with more visibility. Things are going digital. People aren't coming downtown. All this is really geared toward, it's family oriented, permanent resident oriented. Obviously, MSU students more than welcome to join the fund, but there's not, at this time, there's no plan to allow alcohol consumption at these locations. And so
Adam, I'm sorry, this is all tremendous information, and I appreciate all the hard work and look forward to further conversations. We're going to have to conclude the meeting because we do have our project and infrastructure meeting starting here momentarily. So stay tuned for additional comments about the business support services, and we'll move forward and address those at the full DDA. But Adam, thank you for all the time and effort you put into it. So with that, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this meeting, and we'll see everyone back here in a few minutes for project and infrastructure. Ask for a second to adjourn.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and supported. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you again.